What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today's topic is I want to talk about how the New York Jets can go about ending their playoff drought in the second half of their season. We'll take a look at the Jets schedule. We'll go through, we'll do the patented win, loss, and see what the Jets' final record will be, what my predictions are for the second half of the season, and why I think they could be a playoff team. What's going on, guys? It is time for more Underdog Fantasy selections. For a limited time, Underdog is giving users a $500 match deposit bonus. So up to $500, whatever you deposit, they will match it if you use my code on the screen or linked down below. I'm going to do 3 picks this week. I'm excited about each one of these picks. No Jets, so it's not going to be focusing on just the Jets game. That'll come back later when they return off the bye week. But there are 3 things that jump out to me that I'm going to use. First is the higher on Jalen Hurts, 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdowns. I think he runs one in. I am also targeting Patrick Mahomes, his passing yards. I think he is going to eat up that Los Angeles Chargers defense. So I'm taking 277.5. I will take the higher on that one. And finally, I would like to go with Diggs. I am taking his receiving yards over the higher, rather on the receiving yards at 83.5 against New England. I think Buffalo straight up dominates. So a $10 play will net you $60. Sign up now using my code and make sure to get involved on Underdog. So let's get it rocking and rolling. Coming out of the bye week, the New York Jets go against the New York Giants. It's technically a Giants home game, so their start on the road is against the New York Giants, and I think that is a win for the New York Jets. I think they improved to 4-3. The Jets' defensive line should, on paper, theoretically, dominate against the offensive line of the New York Giants, which is in shambles. It doesn't matter to me if it's Daniel Jones or if it's Tyrod Taylor in that game. I think the Jets' defense will play really well and limit what the Giants will be able to do offensively. And you know, the Giants defense did play better against the Buffalo Bills. That was probably their best game of the season that they played defensively. But even so, I think the Jets will do enough in order to win a game. I'm not saying a blowout. They're not going to win 30-6 or anything like that, but I think the Jets do enough to win that game. So improve to 4-3. They have the Chargers at home. We'll be in attendance for it. Myself, Green Bean, Ryan, the whole Talking Jets panel will be there in attendance. We're doing a group outing. We cannot lose that game. We cannot see a loss in that game. And plus, the Chargers are a fraudulent team. They are very much so fraudulent. Their defense is historically bad, like really, really bad, not good at all. Offense overrated. Their coach is a moron. I don't understand why. Remember, if you go back, everyone was like, oh, Brandon Staley's the best hire of the cycle. Well, he stinks. He's terrible. He should get canned. The Jets beat a Chargers team that is flying West Coast to East Coast. I know that they're playing at night, and it's on Monday, so an extra day of rest might not matter. Still, Jets are the better team. 5-3 at the Raiders. The Raiders are really, really struggling right now. Things don't look good for the Las Vegas Raiders. A lot of Jet fans will be hanging out at Circa with Jake Asman, and I think they see a win. So I think the Jets improve to 6-3, get the next 3 wins out of the bye, which would be a nice little win streak, a nice 5-game win streak for the New York Jets. Sign me up for that, absolutely. Unfortunately, though, I think that win streak comes to a close against the Buffalo Bills. I think the Jets split with the Buffalo Bills, which is something you absolutely sign up for. Can they beat them? Yes, I think the Jets could theoretically beat the Buffalo Bills. It's a good matchup. They played them tough last year up there in Buffalo, but again, it's a really good team. It's going to be hard for me to predict that they're going to sweep the Buffalo Bills and beat them twice in the same season. Against the Dolphins, originally I had the Jets splitting with the Dolphins. I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. I think the Jets dropped that one to the Miami Dolphins as well, so 6-5 at this point. Then the schedule eases up a little bit after that, slightly. You have the Falcons. I think the Jets take care of business at home against the Falcons. They're kind of scrappy. They're a scrappy team, but a Jets defense should do damage against some lesser quarterbacks. And you have Desmond Ridder coming to town, and that's a really tough matchup. And while so that's 7-5, but the following week you have the Houston Texans, who have played much better than most people, I believe, would expect them to play. But even still, that's a young quarterback going up against an elite level defense, a defense that creates turnovers. I think that's a tough spot for the Texans. I think they play the Jets tight, but I think the Jets win the game and improve to 8-5 on the road against Miami. I think the Jets drop that one to go to 8-6, setting themselves up for a favorable spot, even with that loss in their final 3 games. They have the Commanders at home on Christmas Eve. I think the Jets should be able to beat the Commanders. Again, same thing. I think the Jets defense handles business. I think it'll be a low scoring, kind of ugly game. This is a team that's, both of these teams are built on defense and having a really good defensive line. I don't think Sam Howell goes out and balls out against this defense. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the Jets win a lower scoring, kind of ugly game. Against the Browns, I have this as a loss. I think the Cleveland Browns defense is really, really special. Short week for the Jets. That's a Thursday night game. So short week on the road against an elite defense. And you got to give a ton of credit to Schwartz. I think he's done a great job with that unit. And I think he's going to get some head coaching nods in the next cycle. I think he's going to interview and probably get a job, I would think anyway. Loss to drop to 9-7, but setting yourself up in New England on the road to close out your season. Can you get to 10-7 or you'll be 9-8? I think the Jets win on the road. Finally end the streak, improve to 10-7. New England, the Jets should have beat them in week 3. We know that. They did not play a very good game. That was Zach Wilson's worst game of the season so far. He's been playing better. I think if he hits his stride in the second half and continues to improve in some areas, and I'm not saying a massive leap in being a top 15 quarterback. That would be nice. That's not what I'm expecting. But if he could hang around and be the 20th best quarterback in football the second half of the year, I think it should be enough in order to beat New England. If Zach has played the way that he did the last 3 weeks against New England, they probably win that game in the first place. So I think the Jets finished their season 10-7. And I think that is enough for them to be a playoff team. I think if you're looking around, where things will end up, I think the Miami Dolphins win the AFC East. I think the Bills are a wild card team. I think in the AFC North, the Ravens probably win that division, but I think the Bengals end up getting hot and getting themselves into a playoff spot. So really it's about jumping teams like the Steelers, the Colts, the Texans. Those are all teams that I think the Jets should, in theory, be able to jump. The Chargers, I don't really think as a threat. Again, I have the Jets beating the Chargers, and I have the Chargers losing this week to Kansas City. So they should be out of it. I really don't think, outside of, as I said, I think the biggest threat to that 7 spot for the New York Jets would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. But that's a team that's a really good defense, but I think the Jets are a better all-around football team than the Pittsburgh Steelers are. I know neither team has really a great quarterback, but the Jets' running back room is significantly better. So I think the Jets handle business, make the playoffs as the 7 seed, and are probably facing like the Miami Dolphins or something like that in the first round of the playoffs, which, as long as you get there, that's really all that I'm caring about right now. And that's not even factoring in if Aaron Rodgers comes back, which maybe that's a whole different story. Maybe you're 11-6 or something like that if he's playing the last 3-4 games of the year. We'll see what happens there. But even if they have to stick with Zach Wilson, or if they have to go to Trevor Siemian, whatever, I think they stick with Zach. But if they continue to play out the rest of the year, even without Aaron Rodgers, I think this team is still good enough to be a playoff team. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.